what do you think Kim Jong-un's reality is?
A siege mentality where he thinks his government is going to get invaded and destroyed, which he needs to protect at any cost.
That's actually a part of his.
It
Okay.
is. It's a part of his father's and his grandfather's thing. They're very clear about that. They don't care how many people they lose in order to protect their regime. It's almost a caricature of itself in that sense. I've never seen a more militarized society. Even the orchestras there play military music. Even the pop bands there come out. So we went for this concert by something called the Moranbong Band, which is their official national pop band. There's only one pop band. Like, you can't have different pop bands. There's only the government sanctioned pop band out there, which frequently gets purged. Apparently, some of them were caught watching porn, which is the death sentence out there, and half of them were killed off shot. Yeah. So I read. I don't know if it's true or not, but some of it is also South Korean propaganda. But anyway,
Do they speak the same Korean that South Korea?
apparently it's very different.
Oh, really?
Apparently it's very different. 70 years of separation. There's been a significant change in vocabulary, not in grammar or anything, but there was one Korean guy, South Korean turned Australian citizen, who was traveling with me, and he could speak very easily with them. He's like, he just used to get stuck on words every now and then. And
Do you think North Koreans know about BTS? Like, you know what BTS is? It's like the biggest South Korean band. It's like Backstreet Boys, but bigger.
if they do, they better keep quiet about it, because if you're watching South Korean stuff, it's a death penalty.
Okay. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
The death penalty for a lot of things out there. So better not do that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un and his patrilineal lineage.
I mean, I don't even know where to start with those guys, right? Like Kim Il-sung, who was the granddaddy who started it all, was, I guess, the sanest of the lot. I mean, they're all sane, but least kooky of the lot, because he industrialized the country completely based on the fact that the Japanese had already heavily industrialized Korea, based on the fact that they had trained and made almost the entire country literate and technically literate. So they could read technical manuals and understand what to do with a machine. Till 79, North Korea was the success. By 1990, when this gentleman dies, North Korea has deindustrialized. They had a choice. Do we become more liberal and continue, or do we preserve the regime and allow ourselves to deindustrialize? They deindustrialize completely. Then the son, Kim Jong-il, takes over.
But why this choice?
Because every country comes to that point where they have to make a choice. So if you look, South Korea, a lot of these countries, why do they transition from dictatorship to democracy in the 1980s? Why specifically the 80s? So why does Taiwan become a democracy in the 80s? South Korea, Taiwan, South Korea, Greece, Spain. Why? Because that is when the digital age begins. The industrial age is all about a strong state and centralizing power. The digital and information age is all about a weaker state. The state takes a back seat. So if you actually care about the economic well-being of your people, you take a back seat. And these dictatorships, they've decided, let's become rich. And they go down that path. Then there are countries like North Korea that say, we're not going to reform, we're not going to become rich. It's the preservation of the system that's more important. You in fact see a very different angle to this taking place in China right now. China, for all its achievements, should now be saying it's time for the party to take a back seat so that China can fully enter the information age, and slow democratization maybe, but certainly greater expressions of freedom and things, because we need to move past manufacturing now. We need to move into design and make our money from design, not from the actual, because manufacturing, there's only so much. You are still a blue collar laborer. But the Chinese have very specifically decided that they're going to remain a manufacturing society, even if it means stuck in a middle income trap. In those days, that was not available to the Koreans, so they just deindustrialized. This was actually a country that was way ahead, even Israel at that point of time. And they've literally become an agrarian state overnight. And that is when all the famines happened. See, there were some famines which were natural because of drought, but there were some which were actually targeted extermination of entire provinces, like the one in Hamgyong province, which is the breadbasket of North Korea. What Kim Jong Il did was he said, you know what, you should all make your own, you're free to sell whatever surplus you grow on the market. And they decide to sell it. And then he turns around and says, see, you've all been disloyal to the state. You did not listen to what my father taught you. And so you're all going to starve. And Hamgyong, where about 1 million people died in the famine, was maybe 800,000 people died in the famine, was targeted for punishment. Whole families died and were wiped out because the government withheld food to punish them for being ideologically disloyal. So it is an absolutely murderous dictatorship. To this day, you see the effect. So, when we went to the mausoleum where Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il are preserved in these glass coffins, which you have to go around and bow 4 times. You bow at the feet, then you bow at the left hand, then you bow at the head, and then you bow at the right hand before you go out. Where all their gifts and everything are displayed, all the Mercedes and Rolls Royces that they got as gifts from world leaders or whatnot. No Rolls Royces, but mostly Mercedes and things like that. Even planes or train carriages that they used. We saw this delegation come past, and I thought it was a delegation of school children. No, it was fully grown people that were 4 feet nothing. You know why? Because when you go through starvation, it stunts you permanently. They were all built really well because after the collective punishment had ended, they were all given soy milk. Now, soy milk leads to estrogenation and things like that, but at least it builds you up because it's protein. Built like bulls, but 4 feet nothing. Midgets. It was literally midgets from Hamgyong province who had come to pay their respects. So, there are multi-generational consequences to what has happened out there. I think that and Turkmenistan are the only real crazy dictatorships I've been to. Like all the other dictatorships I've been to, like Iran and Syria and Egypt, these are all very tame, They're not as dictators go, they're like mom and pop 9/11 stores of dictatorship. The real hardcore stuff is Turkmenistan and North Korea.